Hello, how you doing today? Uh, this is a video that I wanted to create because of many responses and many comments that I had from some of my subscribers to a previous video that I had done back on July 8th of this year. And that video right now has almost 95,000 views. So I guess it resonates well with my viewing audience. I just wanted to address some additional comments. The title of that old video was My Truth at 78. Don't Wait to Live. That's the thumbnail title that you'll see on it. And I'll put a link in the description down below. And at the end, there'll be a place where you can click onto it. And essentially, what it says is the title of it is Life at 78, Aging, Health, Loneliness, and Legacy: How I Stay Connected and Live Without Regrets. So as I mentioned, this is an add-on, some other things that people had mentioned that I should have included, and some of the things that I thought about that I want to include. Hi, I'm John, and welcome back to my channel, In John's Universe. If you're new to this channel, thank you for coming in and checking out to see what we're doing here. And if you've already subscribed to the channel, I appreciate you coming back and listening to what I have to say. This particular video, what I was going to name it was Getting Older Isn't for Sissies: The Real Challenges We Face as Seniors. And I'm going to manipulate that a little bit and maybe put additional real challenges that we face as seniors to make it a little bit more relevant, because this is an add-on to that previous video. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I've got some exciting news about this program, YouTube teaching program that you want me to do. And I've got some ideas about it, and I'll put that out for information. Plus, there's one more additional challenge. It actually starts happening to your body at the age of 40. And I don't know, it's kind of humorous to me, but I'll let you decide what it is. So stick around to the end. Let me see. Let's talk about the things that people really don't want to admit about getting older: slower reflexes, hearing loss, worries. The real stuff. Now, not to scare you, but to empower you. Talking about these challenges is the first step in tackling them. So let's jump in. Number one, let's start with one that sneaks up on you: slower reflexes. I used to be quick on my feet. I used to be pretty nimble. Now I trip all over my feet. I have to be careful and double check before I step down a curb. I use a rollator. Uh, I don't use just a cane anymore because the rollator makes me feel more stable, and I just don't want to fall. I think I've addressed that in the previous video. Reaction time just isn't what it used to be, and that's okay as long as you learn to adapt. You have to drive a little slower, use that cane, as I mentioned before, or rollator or walker or whatever else you need to get around with to make it, a little bit easier for you. And for goodness sakes, give yourself extra time. At your age and at my age, there's no need to hurry anymore. Who cares? This isn't about giving up or anything like that. It's about staying safe. And that's the most important thing. Another thing you'll find as you age is sleep disruptions. Does anybody else get up at 2:30 in the morning for no good reason at all? Yep, sleep isn't just what it used to be. Seniors often deal with lighter sleep, more bathroom trips. Oh, I can attest to that. I'm up a couple of times a night to go, and sometimes insomnia. It's not your imagination. Our sleep patterns do change due to aging. My tip: stick to a calming bedtime routine and cut out the late night news. Trust me, your brain doesn't need that drama before bed. What I do is I'll spend maybe 15 minutes to a half hour reading my Kindle when I'm in bed. That kind of makes me sleepy. And a lot of times I'll find a Kindle on my chest when I wake up to go to the bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning, and my eyeglass is still on and the light's still on, and so forth and so on. But whatever it takes for you to get to sleep and stay asleep. My doctor recommended taking something to help me sleep, one of the natural products, but I said, no, I'm just going to deal with it the best way I can. So I'm doing the best I can. Let's put it that way. And I usually, you know how you have your biological clock? I set my alarm to anywhere between 7 and 7:30 in the morning. But realistically, I'm up by 6:30, quarter to 7. I'll just wake up and just lay there and say, "Okay, world, here I come." Before I get up, go to the bathroom, shave, or brush my teeth, or whatever I'm going to do in preparation for the day, shower, and then come and get dressed. Hearing and vision loss is another concern for seniors. I don't know about you, but I was tired of saying "what" all day long. My ex-wife used to drive her crazy because I'd say "what." You need hearing aids. Yeah, I know, but being vain, a male naturally doesn't listen to anybody else. I decided I'm going to wait till the last minute. So one day I said, "That's it. I can't hear anything anymore. So I'm going to need to get hearing aids." And I did. And it's probably the best thing that I ever did. It's opened up my world again. Hearing aids has made a big difference for me. I can hear things more clearly. And actually it's making it safer. So I can listen for emergencies, or maybe if somebody's sneaking up behind me, I have that ability, that my spidey sense, to say, "Hey, turn around, somebody's there." And that's helpful. So whatever you need to do, take care of your hearing. Now, my second pair of hearing aids, the first time I went to an audiologist and I got tested and everything, and he prescribed the hearing aids. And fortunately, my wife's insurance company at the time covered the cost of the hearing aids 100%. And I know they were like $6,000. And after a couple of years, the technology changes and there's better things in there. I used to get messages almost every month with literally cards that, "Hey, it's time to get checked again. You probably need new hearing aids," and so forth. So I called up the audiologist's office one day. I said, "All right, what's the range of your hearing aids right now?" And they told me it was anywhere between $4,000 and $8,000. And I said, "Whoa." So, being a Costco member, I checked at Costco, and I found out that Costco is the world's largest distributor of hearing aids, or provider of hearing aids. And they always have good deals. They have, uh, you know, sometimes you buy a hearing aid or hearing aid set and you get a free TV receiver that uh, you can hook your hearing aids up to. So I decided to do that. I went that route, and I only paid $1,500 plus tax. Plus, being a Costco Prime member, I get 2% back on that purchase, and they're just as good as the audiologist. Now, I'm not saying that the audiologist shouldn't be discounted. They have a valuable service, and if it's the first time you're going to be getting hearing aids, give them a visit and let them recommend what they think uh, it is. Determine the cost. If your insurance pays for it, fine. If your insurance doesn't pay for it, maybe they'll pay part of it. I know with Medicare, some plans have, they'll supplement your cost. But in my case, they didn't. So that's why I went to Costco. And now another thing, vision loss. Oh, God, take care of your vision. Uh, there's no shame in using magnifiers, brighter lights, and those type of tools. Get new glasses. Get your eyes checked every year. And I just had cataract surgery. I don't want to belabor the point. And it was great. I could see things clear out of one eye, better vivid colors. And I've gotten my next cataract surgery on my left eye scheduled in the middle of September. And I can't wait for it, because then I'll get both eyes equally the same. And then I can get corrective glasses to help with making them 100% clear. Because right now, it's not clear my left eye with my current prescription, but my right eye is much better. That's the one I had the surgery on, but it still needs a little bit of a different prescription strength for that clarification. Another thing that affects you when you're getting old. The next thing I want to talk about is sensory changes. As we age, food doesn't taste quite the same, smells get duller, and sometimes even our sense of touch changes. That's not your imagination either. It's a natural part of aging. But try to make meals a moment of joy anyway. Use herbs and spices, try new flavors, and eat with friends to make it more fun. Keep those senses engaged however you can. Oral health and nutrition. That's something that most often gets overlooked. Oral health, dry mouth, tooth issues, and trouble chewing can mess with our eating. When we eat less or avoid certain foods, we start losing out on important nutrition. Hydration and softer, nutrient rich foods like oatmeal, soups, and smoothies go a long way. And yes, keep those dental appointments, actually, make those dental appointments, even if they're not fun. If your insurance covers it, they usually do. Uh, it depends. They won't cover everything, but I try to get a cleaning twice a year. That's what my insurance company will pay for. And that gives the dentist an opportunity to look inside and see if there's anything amiss that needs to be taken care of. And as part of my particular oral hygiene regimen, I use a water pick, and I've used it for a couple of years, and it's made a significant difference, especially with your gums. It keeps the gums massaged, and it keeps the gums healthy. And the girl who does the cleaning said, "Hey, you're doing great. You have no signs of gingivitis or anything like that. So keep doing what you're doing." And that, I don't know, that oral pick or whatever the hell they call it, uh, I got it when it was on sale at Costco. I think I paid about $100 for it. That's probably the cost of it now when it's on sale. So if you can afford one of those, get it. It makes a big difference. Now, I addressed this previously about slower healing and recovery time. I talked about getting a simple bruise. Here, I got bruises all over myself from bumping into things, and cuts that take a long time now to heal. Yeah, slower healing is part of the package. The body doesn't bounce back as fast. However, be patient with yourself. That means giving yourself grace, whether recovering from surgery, an illness, or even a bad day. Rest is part of recovery. Fear of losing independence. Oh, yeah, that is one of the biggest things. That one hits home. The fear of losing independence. And that's something that I think about all the time. I drive. I'm very independent. I drive wherever I have to go. Uh, not long distances because my kids have a tendency to, "Hey, Dad, you're getting too old to be driving by yourself, and drive locally." And I can understand their reluctance, but I pretty much go where I want to go and do what I want to do. But I'm very reluctant in the future to give up my independence, whether it's giving up my keys, needing help with chores, or moving into a smaller place. It's a tough adjustment. I can remember my mother one time calling me. My grandfather he lived until he was 92, and he was in his mid 80s at the time. And my mother called me. She said, "John," she said, "your grandfather won't listen to me. I'm trying to take the car keys away from him. He's not safe to drive. Uh, can you do anything about it? Maybe he'll listen to you." I said, "Hey, Mom, I'll try." So I went up there the next day, and my grandfather was sitting at the kitchen table. And I says to him, "Hey, Gramps." He looked at me and said, "What?" I said, "Give me your keys. You're getting too damn old to drive, and you're a hazard to yourself and other people." He says, "Okay." He handed me the keys. My mother just looked at me and just rolled her eyes. And after he left the room, she said to me, "How did you do that?" I said, "He listens to me, but he won't listen to you. You're his daughter, and I can appreciate that." So that's how we got my grandfather to stop. But remember, asking for help isn't a weakness. It's a way to stay independent longer, because accepting help often means staying safer and in your own home longer. Another thing that irks me as I get older is the bureaucratic overload. Let me tell you, navigating Medicare, Social Security, insurance claims, And tech updates is exhausting. It's like you need a PhD to understand these benefits nowadays. If it overwhelms you, you're not alone. Reach out to senior centers for help or ask a younger family member to help. Do not try to decode it all on your own. Bureaucracy is a beast, but it's beatable. Again, when I don't know anything about my iPhone or how to use something on my computer, I'll get in touch with my grandson. I finally figured out how to video message him, and he gets on the screen, and I'll tell him what the problem is, and it's, well, just push this button or push that button, and it's easy for him, but for me, I look at him and I shake my head and I said, Aiden, thank God for you, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And he just laughs. He said, Grandpa, anytime you need help, just just call me. Don't worry about it. And I do. I take advantage of it. One of the last things I want to talk about is probably the quietest, but maybe the most powerful: loss of identity and loss of purpose. After we retire or our kids are grown, we sometimes wonder, who am I now? But I believe this stage of life is the most powerful chapter. We're full of wisdom, stories, and perspective. We can mentor, volunteer, create, travel, even learn new skills like YouTube. And purpose isn't something you lose; it's something you rediscover. Now, judging by the number of comments that I have, yeah, a lot of people are rediscovering and they're doing whatever they can do to bolster their sense of purpose in life as they get older. They have a lot to offer people. They're mentoring people, they're volunteering, they're traveling, they're creating. A lot of them are looking to create on YouTube. And that brings me to the next subject. A couple of people, well, not a couple, but probably 24 people responded to me in comments saying, hey, I know you're going to start doing a seniors course for starting YouTube at your local senior center. Have you ever considered putting it on to YouTube and doing a series of videos on it? And I thought about it and I finally said, okay, I'm going to do it. I just have to put all the mechanics together and how to figure out how to put a screen up and put me as the talking person and show you exactly what I'm going to be doing. Now, again, let me caution you about this. When I do start it, it is going to be very elemental. It's going to be very simplistic. So I think it'll be very advantageous to somebody who doesn't really have that much knowledge about YouTube, how to start YouTube, how to start from the beginning, how to create an account. And I've come up with a name. I've asked for recommendations, and I've gotten several of them. But I came up with a name, and I'm sure you're all familiar with the term KISS, which means keep it simple, stupid. Now, I kind of think that's derogatory and demeaning. I didn't want to call it that. Uh, and I checked to make sure it's not copyrighted, so I could have used it if I want. However, I'm going to call my course KISS, and it's Keep It Simple Seniors. And I've already designed a thumbnail for it, and I think it's kind of cute. And it's probably going to be 8 parts, maybe 6 parts. I haven't decided. Just depends what I can get into it. Eventually, I'll put out a PDF that'll make it available to you somehow, some way. And on the thumbnail, I put instead of me, I found an owl, a teaching owl, a wise old owl with I guess a pointer pointing to the top. And I think it's cute. So maybe in another couple of weeks, I'm going to go and do that. And I'll give you advance notification. All right. The last thing I want to talk about today, and I held it until the end of this video to make it a teaser for you, to make it a little bit more interesting and give you something to look forward to. Going to answer the question about what a compound called 2, that's the number 2, dash non-enal, NONENAL. 2 dash non-enal is an unsaturated aldehyde that is responsible for the characteristic old person smell, often described as greasy, grassy, or musty cucumber like. Not 2 non-enal is produced when omega 7 unsaturated fatty acids like palmitoic acid and sebum are oxidized. This aldehyde then sticks to the skin and clothing, creating a persistent odor. Now, I'm sure when you were growing up and you went to grandma and grandpa's house or you're around older relatives, as soon as you walked in the house, you smelled something. It couldn't quite put your finger on it, and it was body odor, and that's what it was from. And it's something that very difficult to understand and tame because it's not part of the normal hygiene regimen. And older people didn't have the benefit of all the scientific breakthroughs now that could recommend things to help with the old person smell. Since it's lipid based and strongly adheres to surfaces, normal soaps and body washes may not remove it effectively. Here are evidence backed methods to reduce or neutralize it. Use acidic or specialized cleaners, mild acidic cleansers, anywhere between the pH of less, plus or minus 5.5 can help. Alkaline soaps can disrupt skin's barriers and actually worsen oxidation. There are some Japanese products out there that are specifically formulated to break down 2 non-enals, such as uh, DOCO body cleanse that comes from Japan, and non-enol soap, which also comes from Japan, that uses cyclodextrins to bind and trap non-enol. I'm sure these are on Amazon. One of the things was persimmon soap. So I don't know. I can't. I don't think I smell a body odor that type. But who knows? Maybe you can't even smell what you smell like. Other people can. But what you want to do is look for ingredients like cyclodextrin, activated charcoal, or that zinc, RICINOLEATE, which can bind and trap odors. Increase antioxidant intake. Since oxidation of fatty acids leads to 2 non-enol, eat more oxidants, vitamin C, vitamin E, polyphenols like berries, green tea extracts, or catechin rich foods may help reduce skin lipid oxidation. Shower every day with warm water. Pay extra attention to neck, back of ears, scalp, chest, areas rich in sebaceous glands. Use a soft exfoliating cloth to help lift oils. Keep clothing very clean. 2 non-enol can adhere to fibers and be hard to remove with standard detergents. Occasionally wash clothes in hot water. Check care labels so you don't mess up your clothes, or with an enzyme-based detergent to break down oily residues. Sometimes they say, wash everything with cold water, but I don't believe that to be true. When I do my jeans and I do towels and sheets like that, I put it in hot water, hot as possible. Use deodorants that target aldehydes. Regular deodorants mainly target bacteria that break down sweat, not aldehydes like 2 non-enol. Look for deodorants that contain zinc compounds like zinc recanoleate that traps odors, cyclodextrins, which encapsulate and neutralize aldehydes. Stay hydrated and maintain healthy skin turnover. Proper hydration supports skin shedding, reducing the buildup of oxidized lipids. So that's all I have to say for today. I hope you found value in this video. Again, I appreciate you listening in to me. Have any useful comments that you could put out for everybody to see, please do so. Now, again, since my channel is growing, I have gotten well over 1,000 comments, and it's become very difficult to answer the comments promptly. And I'm not the type of person that just likes to leave a thumbs up. What I'd like to do is recognize that that person that left a comment took the time to express their views and to leave a comment. So I think it's my obligation as a creator to respond personally to that comment. and I'm going to try to do my best. If I can't do it promptly, I'll do it whenever I get a chance to, but expect an answer from me, unless it gets to the point where I just can't handle it anymore, and I'll let you know. Now, again, like and subscribe, and there's a little notification. I think I'm getting it right. I think it's down on this side, down here, right in the front of the screen. There's a little notifications bell. If you click on that notifications bell, you'll get an opportunity when my next video comes live to get a heads up, so you can click on that video and get advanced notification. So that's all I have to say for today. I appreciate you listening to me, and you have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.